Sounds
Boom. All right, what's up, guys? So I'm here with my client and friend, Jillian MacDonald. Jillian actually just had her best week and month in business ever. So, round of applause for her. Jillian, do you really want to quickly describe to me what things were like in your business before we kind of reconnected and worked together and what you were going through?
Yeah, totally. So, um, I would say before we reconnected, I had almost like given up, like not hope, but given up any progress on my program that I had spent, a year and a half creating, because I just wasn't sure how to talk to people, how to position myself correctly, how to say, like, know who my niche is and talk to them in a way that they're going to understand. And so I wasn't putting any energy or time into selling my program or calling new people in. I was kind of like, oh, well, whatever happens, happens. And then you and I reconnected, and you instantly, I like you got me to, you asked me the right questions, got me to say what was going on inside. And instantly, I remember you just were like, well, it sounds like you help people with this, and then you do this, and then you do this. And it was so clear and concise. And like after that moment, I was like, it was like my brain was, okay, now I can do this. Now I
Hmm.
have a vision. Now I know who I'm helping and what their pain points are, and the transformation that I can
Hmm.
provide them. And it was just brand new confidence. So yeah, I would say you took my program from like barely hanging on to like brand new, energized, and ready to get back out there and actually create something sustainable with it.
Yeah, and what was that like? Because I know like you talked about you'd worked on this program for a while. And from what
Mhm.
I've heard about it, I mean, I know it's for women, so I can't ever go through it. But from what I've heard about it and all the testimonials you've given me and the work you've done with people, it's really transformative. So what was that like to kind of feel like you weren't sure if it was viable and now feeling this new sense of confidence, especially given the body of work that went into it and the kind of results you know it's capable of?
So, um, yeah, okay. So I started the program in 2024. I started creating it, and it took me
Hmm.
about 9 months to create. And it's basically everything that I have learned about how to heal, to summarize, um, and really creating real identity shifts in people. So, like getting to the root, the trauma, the conditioning, and creating these changes in their energy so that their outer world starts to show up differently. And we there's a lot of spiritual components, energetic components, but the main factor is the feminine embodiment piece and connecting with your feminine energy, learning how to listen to her, to trust her. And this is a piece that is missing in a lot of areas of society, especially in a lot of women. Obviously, like a lot of research wasn't even done on women's bodies until the late 90s, and women were brought up in these different with these different masculine roles, and there's just so many components. But I know from my own personal work how life changing it is. Like
Hmm.
it's literally changed my life so much. So I knew the power in the work, and I knew the importance in the work, both on an individual level but also collective level. And I had a couple sales early on. I was offering it heavily discounted because I didn't, I wasn't fully confident with the full price. And I got a couple people in. I started my group program, and over time I started to see these real shifts in people. Like people were quitting their jobs. One girl moved across the country to Italy with her boyfriend. One girl moved out of her abusive mom's home into a new home with her babies. She's
Hmm.
actually just called in her partner.
Wow.
One girl quit nursing and also met her partner and has started her own business. And so like these shifts were like real world, like shifts. And I was like,
Hmm.
whoa, like, okay. It was like I believed in the power for other people, not just myself. So I knew what it could do for people, and I really believed in it. But I had no idea how to be seen by the right people, say the right things to like get them interested in the program, and you always talk about like where's their starting point, what's their pain point, and what's the transformation they're going to get. And I was like, well, they're going to get everything. Like, what do you mean, what's the
Yeah.
transformation? Like, their relationships are going to shift. They're going to be connected to their spirituality. They're going to,
Hmm.
like, there's this, there's this, there's this. And I just like, there's
Hmm.
all these things. And I was like, I don't know how to like say what their transformation is because there's so much, and like there's so many different things they could be struggling with now,
Hmm.
because like they could have chronic pain, they could have this, the list goes on. So I was like, I have no idea how to make this concise and clear so someone sees it and is like, that's for me, that's what I want,
Hmm.
that's what I need to do. So working with you, it helped me start to get clearer on who they were and the types of people I actually wanted to work with, like who was really going to benefit, and also talk about the transformation in words that people will actually understand. Because for me, I was like, oh, you're going to heal your mother wound, your father wound. Like most of the people that I'm calling in have no idea what that means or why that would be beneficial to
Hmm.
them. But
Hmm.
I was like, you know
Yeah.
and so then as time, like we've been going back and forth over the last couple of months, but things have just gotten so much clearer. Like now I feel like I know exactly who my niche is, which I actually never thought I would. Like I never thought I would have a niche. I was like, I'm for everyone. And I
Hmm.
think I actually thought about this the other day. I was like, it's so funny because I've heard so many times, you need to pick your people, you need your niche. And I always was like, maybe, but that's not for me. And
Hmm.
then now I'm like, no, actually, I know who they are now.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
what their pain points are. So I feel like my content has changed because I can talk to those people in my
Hmm.
content, and um like my confidence in my calls that I do and everything has changed because I know who they are, and I also know for sure the transformation that they're going to get if they apply themselves to this program.
Hmm.
It's never been the program that I've been like not confident in. It's like my sales, my
Hmm.
confidence to position myself in a way where I'm not selling, I'm not convincing, not doing anything greasy, but I'm
Hmm.
like very confident in the transformation and how to speak to those people. Hopefully
Yeah.
that answers your question.
No,
It's
that's
a
a
little
great
bit of a
answer.
rant.
And I think that sometimes people in the spiritual niche or the inner work niche can feel a bit of resistance towards analyzing pain points because they go, I don't want to fear monger. I don't want to like kick them while they're down or like take advantage of them. And it's not about trying to take advantage of what they're going through. It's more so like seeing them. You know what I mean? Like if somebody broke their arm and is telling you, I'm okay, the loving, compassionate thing isn't to be like, you're right, have fun. The loving, compassionate thing is to
Yeah.
be like, can you lift your arm for me? And they'll be like, ow. And you'll be like, let's go to the hospital. Right. And so I think that because you got really specific on the pain points, because you got really specific on what they needed, it made finding your niche and understanding how to position yourself just so much easier because you're like, oh, I can really see people in this situation. And
Hmm.
this is something I know I can help them with. Oh, yeah. So it's not this idea of like, pick a niche because it's a business strategy and you better fucking do it. Otherwise, you hate money. It's just like, oh, I understand what I'm facilitating, and now it just becomes an extension of me rather than this thing I have to do. So yeah, so the big wins, let's highlight them. The 5K pay in full, your biggest contract
Yeah.
ever. Congratulations again, by the
Yes.
way. And
Thank you.
your biggest week in business and your biggest month in business, I believe the week was 12.5, you said?
Yeah, 12 point, well, technically 12.7, but yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And I'd love to know how you feel like our work specifically helped you in those scenarios. You don't have to go super in depth, but just how do you feel like with those things that kind of came together?
So I think s- helped me in my own confidence, and like I feel like I've totally shifted inside, which
Hmm.
has then allowed me to like magnetize the right people to me
Hmm.
and to see me in um trust me, and to
Hmm.
feel like confident that if they're investing with me, they're going to get what they signed up for.
Hmm.
And I think you really helped with that confidence component in all those sales because how do I say, what's going on inside is like what is reflected outside. And then,
Hmm.
before it was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna sell you the program and I
Hmm.
don't know if you're gonna sign, but now I'm like, no, I'm confident in this. Like
Hmm.
I am this person, um and like, yeah, I don't know how to exactly answer that, but
Hmm.
I think a lot of it has to do with just feeling confident in myself and in my business and in what I'm doing, and people feeling that and wanting a piece of it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you completely. I think that because you've developed the inner work so much, adding the strategy is just rocket fuel. In the same way that if you have somebody who's worked out their whole life and they finally dial in their nutrition, like the results they see are just insane. Because it's like, oh, their body's ready. Their body's like, hey, when are you gonna feed us properly? Like, hey, like we're ready. Like we're, we need this. And then they finally give it and they can just take off. So I think what you saw is the equivalent to that for business. Because I try so much to focus on the inner work as being the key differentiator, especially with AI. A lot of people are scared of AI. I don't think so. It just means that if information and execution are a more level playing field, frequency, embodiment, and energy are going to be that much bigger of a difference maker. And so you have that. And now that you have the strategy, it kind of gives you that ability to straighten your spine a little bit and be like, no, I have a life-changing program and like I'm standing on this because I can see it. Like I've mapped it out. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly where these people are going to be transformed. I'm not just going on this
Mhm.
call like, hey, I have this program. Want to sign up. It's more like, hey, I know how this is going to affect you. So I think that's just so amazing that you had those big wins. I'm super happy for you and I'm super proud of you. Last couple of questions I guess I'll ask are uh, working with me, what was that process like? Like not just the strategy and stuff, but like the interpersonal part.
Oh, well, okay. Yes, I can. So I have always been someone that has struggled with the marketing component. That has always been sort of like my biggest struggle. I'm great at healing, I'm great at embodiment, I'm great at all that stuff, but the marketing has been an issue. And so you, Nicholas, I've been following you for a couple years. Like I can't even remember when or how we met. It's been a few years now.
Hmm.
But uh, you are into the inner work, the
Hmm.
spirituality, the trusting your inner self, the connection to your higher self, like all of these things that I really value and are really important to me, I see in you. Number one, I've never seen that in another marketing person before. And number
Hmm.
two, men.
Thank you. Thank
Sorry,
you.
men. No shade to the men, but it makes a big difference. If you
Hmm.
want to do this work, you should. Um, so that was like huge, and I also really trust you. And
Hmm.
I took like a free program with you a couple years ago, and that changed how I showed up in line
Hmm.
online in my business. I think it was like a copywriting thing.
Yeah, it was.
Um, Totally changed how I presented myself online with the wording and all that.
Hmm.
So that component really trust you, really also like feel seen by you. Like when I talk about things in my way with like I've had so many meetings with other marketing people, and like I go and say something and they look at me like I'm a door. Like they're
Yeah.
like, like
Yeah.
they just don't know how to respond to me when I say
Uh-huh.
like, well, I had a low month and I just trusting that, I needed to feel those feelings and
Yeah.
whatever. Like they were like, okay, we don't know how to approach
And
this.
they're like,
Like we
feelings
don't have a
isn't a,
script for this.
they're
We
like,
don't have
that's
a
not a
script.
ledger in my bank account. What is feelings? What are you talking about?
Yeah. So like all of that really aligns with me,
Hmm.
and just the higher self aspect and the
Hmm.
trusting the plan, and um just also you as a person. Like I feel like
Hmm.
we can talk, I can be myself, and
Hmm.
what you do is truly your gift, because I can say like blah 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 blah, and you're
Hmm.
like, okay, so A B C D, and you just like you're like a human chat GPT.
Thank you. Thank you. I take that as a very high compliment. That's legit what my mind thought as well. I'm like ChatGPT.
Literally, like I'm like I tell, because I remember like I said you were like, okay, so but who are you helping, something like that, and I was like, I don't know how to answer this, and then I
Mhm.
said what I felt, and you just like without even thinking just instantly
Yeah.
gave me a sentence, and I was like, are we recording this? Can you write that down? Because it was it was just so good, and
That's so funny.
I feel like it has only like evolved since then.
Hmm.
And one more thing I want to say, because it's just in my head and it keeps coming. I think with that, the specific niche, what I'm realizing now, what I realized in these last couple of weeks, it's like when you're asking the universe for something, the universe has to know what you want, has to know what to
Mm.
give you. And so if you're like, "Hey universe, I have all these things," the universe is like,
Yeah.
we don't know." But when you're like, "This is the person I'm helping, this is who I want
Hmm.
to help," like especially with all of this new stuff I'm creating, I feel like now that I have that, like actually those people are coming and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Whoa, you're who I'm looking for. Whoa, you're," and
Hmm.
it's like that exact archetype. Like now the universe knows what to give me. So
Hmm.
I think that like is so powerful.
Hmm.
And yeah, I just that I really want to say that part. So
Yeah, I appreciate that because it's incredible that when you get clear on what the transformation is, everything else can kind of like fall into these neat little categories. I was talking to somebody today, they're like, I do so many things though. Like I do so many, there's so many aspects of what I do. And I'm like, yes, there are. And like there are a lot of things that go into what I do. How do you structure it in a way though that people want? And also make sense so you're not overloading them. You know what I mean? Like that's how we need to get clear on what the offer is. We need to get clear on what the one sentence offer is. What does this look like? How do we flesh it out? Okay, then we can take the most important parts. Because odds are all of it's important. You're just not sorting it or organizing it in a way that makes sense to other people. You know what I mean?
totally.
Like,
And I think also when you're kind of smaller or when you're not super successful with your business yet, you don't want to
mhm.
like close anyone out. Like you don't
Yeah.
want to be like, "Oh, but if they but it I think that was a big part of it for me. It's like,
Hmm.
well, but if I narrow in on these people, like what about these people? They could
Hmm.
benefit too. And I think what I'm realizing is like, okay, yes, they could, but then these people aren't seeing you. Like they're not
Hmm.
seeing what they could get from you. They're not seeing the value in what you're offering. And yeah, maybe some of those other people will see it and they'll still feel called if something I say resonates, but I think, being seen is such a huge part of all spiritual transformation
Hmm.
and like being seen by the right people. Your offer is like an extension of you. Like it needs
100%.
to be fully developed and authentic so that it can be seen by who needs to
Hmm.
see it. Um, so yeah, like that clarity has helped me a lot. And yeah, I think just having a person
Hmm.
that I can talk to about marketing
Hmm.
stuff where I receive back my own language. Like it makes sense to me. It's not like do this, and you'll get this. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, I see where you're at, what you're doing. Here's how it's going to work for you. That
Hmm.
like individualized support has been really helpful too.
Yeah. Because the truth about marketing is everything works. If you try hard enough and act with enough conviction, everything works. Like I know people who are like, I'll never cold DM anybody in my life. And there are people who literally, I know them, they have a six-figure a month cold email software company.
Hmm.
Some people would say that's ridiculous. I would never open it up. And they make so it all works. You just need to find what works for you.
What works for you, like what's
Hmm.
authentic to you. And
Hmm.
like to your, mission and point, like why the inner work is so important is because you have to figure out what works for you. You have to
Yes.
know yourself enough to know what is for you and what's not. And
Hmm.
like that's how you steer the ship. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, listening to yourself, like having someone who can be like, okay, but what does yourself say? And
Hmm.
like now how can we like position your offer and
Hmm.
all that stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Last question is if you were talking to somebody who's on the fence about working with me, what would you tell them?
Oh, I feel like I've already recommended you to so many of my clients just because like I like I'm like make sure you follow him. Like I go look at your followers and like so many of my girls are like in there now. I'm like, yes. Um but I think in the marketing industry there's so much like the word's AI slop, but that's not what it is, but that's like what it's the equivalent to. But
Yeah.
like there are so many people out there that are like just spewing whatever they can to try to sell you. Like
Hmm.
that's the double-edged sword of marketing. It's like what icks me out is like when people are bragging about how much money they make to the person they're selling and then they're getting their money and it's like like you're
Yeah.
just trying to sell me just to get the money. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's gross. So there's so much of that out there in the marketing world. And when you're working, if you work with Nicholas, he is not like that. He is genuine, authentic, connected to his higher self, only
Hmm.
doing like integrity, like
Hmm.
only doing what he feels is true for himself, which like in my opinion he is absolutely in his mission and purpose, and
Hmm.
so he's going to like he's going to treat you with respect
Hmm.
and see your problems, see how to fix it, and let you be the guide. Like it's the internal authority, or like the autonomy, or like treating people as equals.
Hmm.
Like not like, hey, I'm the boss, do this or else.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, I see where you're at, I see where you are. Here's how I can help you. Here's where I see what needs to be improved,
Hmm.
because that's the gift, is being able to like see
Hmm.
the issue in someone else and clear that up, and like take it or leave it, I guess. But I just feel, I always say when I'm talking about you to people, is just like I feel like I'm talking to someone who gets it.
Hmm.
And so like it's like I'm like I am not being um misled in any way. Like
Hmm.
uh yeah, it's hard to find people who get it, who like speak my language. And I know for a lot of people listening, they might not be in that level or on that realm, but it also applies to like to literally anyone. It's like
Yeah.
you're looking at another person, like here you are, here's your potential, connect to your true self, your soul, and like let's go from there. The possibilities are endless. And so yeah, hopefully that answers.
Sweet. That's
I
a
wanted
great
to do
answer. I
you
appreciate that.
justice.
Yeah, thank you so much. Working with you has been a joy on my end as well. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, yes, I am excited for all your things to come, because I want to recommend you to more people, but I know I get a special VIP one-on-one spot, so
Of course. Of course you do. Of course you do.
yeah.
All right. If you're watching this video, Jillian, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. And if you're watching this video, yeah, I'll see you in another video or on some marketing asset of mine. And hopefully we talk soon.